On to our press review segment where we go over the major headlines that made Egyptian newspapers today, and I'm pleased to be joined by Engineer Hassan Shaban, who is Assistant Chairman of the Weft Party. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Of course, today we're going to start off with Al Ahram newspaper. First headline reads, President Mohamed Morsi will meet today with the Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, within the presidential headquarters in Heliopolis. The meeting tackled the current military campaign in Sinai and efforts exerted by both military and security forces to regain security and stability within the peninsula, along with the latest developments to combat terrorism in its northern governorate. During the meeting, El-Sisi also presented a plan of development within the armed forces to the president. On a related perspective, leaders of the Barahma tribe in northern Sinai handed over large amounts of unlicensed weaponry of different types to the armed forces following a meeting held between the minister and a number of tribal leadership in Sinai. The step aims to encourage other tribes, both in the northern and southern Sinai, to undertake similar steps for the sake of regaining security and stability within the whole Sinai Peninsula. And I guess this means they met yesterday, not today. That was my mistake.
Yes.
So what does this mean for Egypt right now and everything that's been happening on the scene in the Sinai?
Hopefully, the efforts being exerted right now on the peninsula will be fruitful. The peninsula actually is full of arms. It's part of the culture of the Bedouins over there, the tribes, to maintain large amounts of arms as part of their of heritage and culture. And actually they accumulated these amounts of weapons over the 50 years or so. I mean, they had like 3 different wars, and they have a big arsenal actually. And I think the army should supervise and scan the peninsula very thoroughly, because actually this chance will not take place again if we fail in clearing the peninsula from the arms. We will have a drastic problem in the future with the tourism and the development of Sinai. Hopefully that will take place.
So hopefully this is a step forward to kind of clear it of weapons. I'm not sure if it will happen completely, but we could have some improvement.
There is some criticism actually toward what's happening. There is no media presence in this campaign. And actually this makes the public opinion in doubts, and we need transparency. We need to see part of the operation that the army is carrying out in the peninsulas to assure the public opinion that it's a serious operation.
Absolutely. Moving on to our second headline, still related to the presidential issues. Presidential spokesman Dr. Yasser Ali announced names chosen to join the presidential team tasked to assist the president. The list includes 4 assistants and 17 counselors. The presidential decree announced by Yasser Ali included Dr. Pakinam al-Sharqawi as an assistant to the president for political affairs, Dr. Samir Marcos as an assistant to the president for democratic transformation, Dr. Assam al-Haddad as an assistant to the president for foreign affairs and international cooperation, and Dr. Iman Abdel Ghafour as an assistant to the president for social dialogue. Counselors announced within the decree include Ahmed Omran, Dr. Umayma Kamil al-Salamouni, Ayman Ahmed Ali, Ayman Amin al-Sayyad, Bassam Hassanin al-Zarqa, along with a number of other names. What's your opinion of these names? And it's a step forward. I mean, 17 is a big number, isn't it? 17 counselors?
I think it's another cabinet actually, but it's a good sign that the president will not be the sole person to make a decision. He's going to consult people, though I was hoping that the president will have a better combination. I mean, still the Islamic trend still rules the choice of the advisors and the assistant. Though, bingo, we have two cops this time in the formation. Let's hope that this drop of will be the sign of that we're going to have some rain in the future.
I hope so. Prime Minister Dr. Hisham Kondil held a small cabinet meeting with ministers of petroleum, supply, foreign trade and local development. The meeting mainly tackled gas reserves available and to review its fulfillment of popular demand throughout the country. Kondil also met with the head of competition authority, Dr. Mona Al-Garf. The meeting discussed general policies and future vision for the important economic body within the upcoming time period. Al-Garf stressed upon the role of the competition authority as a main tool for the government in the to achieve higher rates of economic and industrial development. She added that the Prime Minister asked her to present different ideas to encourage medium and small-scale projects and increase their market opportunities.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what Dr. Mona Al-Garf will come up with to encourage small and medium projects, and because we need that, we lack that. We need to encourage young people who actually created the revolution by January 25th to have their own businesses and not to look for a job, a governmental job. Let's hope that Dr. Mona Al-Garf will come up with something interesting.
Are you optimistic? I mean, if you rate the performance of the cabinet ever since it has been appointed, what would your rating be?
Actually, it's a little bit too early to judge the cabinet. But I think any cabinet will be better than the cabinets we had in the earlier regime. Any cabinet that will operate in stable conditions with sincerity and transparency will be far better than the earlier cabinets that we had in the last 30 years. We're going to have somebody who will ask questions and somebody will be sacked if he did not do a good job. There will be some serious systems applied, actually. I can tell, but whether they will work as one team or not, this is a different issue. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because anything good that they will do, it will reflect on Egypt, actually.
And speaking of time periods, and you said it was too early to decide whether or not they're doing a good job yet. What's your opinion of what happened on the weekend, the protest that took place against the president and his performance along with the cabinet?
I did not think that these protesters actually meant more than, no, we're still not going to vote for you. You did not do anything yet that pleases us. You have to remember all the time that 25% only of the voters voted for the president. And there is a lot of opposition. And I think these protesters, it was a premature protesting thing. I think 6 months from now, a protest will be required if the president did not actually fulfill his promises on the 100 days program, and the chosen cabinet did not do well. So I think that was a premature behavior on the behalf of the...
But it could be considered a good sign in terms of the fact that the protesters are saying we're here and we're watching,
and we don't like what's happening, but we're gonna always be there.
Right. And now we're looking at Al-Akhbar newspaper. The first headline reads, heavy equipment sent to the Rafah border area with both the Gaza Strip and Israel continue to destruct tens of illegal tunnels between Egyptian and Palestinian sides of the city. The equipment belonging to the Corps of Engineers within the armed forces closed tunnel spots in areas of Salah ad-Din, the unknown soldier, along with the area extending along the north of Rafah crossing. Security sources within the area said that many residents within the area strongly cooperated in allocating many of these tunnels and aided the armed forces to destruct tunnels in the city. The fact that we have these tunnels, doesn't it go back to the fact that the border was shut down and
Actually,
it led the people to have these tunnels?
Not only the borders. When you look at these tunnels, they start from the heart of the Rafah, from the city of Rafah.
It just seems like it's impossible to close down all the tunnels.
Actually, it was an investment to the people who lived in Rafah. Everybody who wanted some good profit will construct a tunnel, and he would rent that tunnel to smuggle goods from and to Gaza Strip. So actually that was an investment. So what you're doing right now, you're demolishing and destroying the investment of these people. You're going to have to be realistic. You're going to have to reason with them what to do. They've invested a lot of money in these tunnels. I doubt seriously that they will be able to shut all these tunnels down. But again, there is so many ways to detect these tunnels by very advanced technologies. You could tell if these tunnels still exist or not. But they start from inside houses in certain cases, from garages, from gardens, from actually it's a big issue. It's a big issue. It's not really in a deserted area where you can bomb it and over with that. No, it's not like that. It's right in the middle of the Rafah city, and you need some detective work to actually locate these tunnels. It's not gonna. The number of tunnels is 1,860 tunnels. 1860.
That's a really big number, and these tunnels were also used to transfer weaponry as well.
Of course, if you can transport cars, actually, you smuggle cars. Some of the stolen cars from Egypt are still running in Gaza Strip with the license on it, Ismailia license and Cairo license and Alexandria license, and they're running in Gaza. So
I was right when I said it was impossible to close down all the 1860 tunnels.
If you know that we've only managed to close about 250 out of them since the beginning of the campaign.
Wow.
That tells you it's a very difficult mission, but it's a long-term mission.
Hopefully, wish them all the success. Moving on to the next headline, Assistant to the General Prosecutor and Speaker of the General Prosecution, Councillor Adil Al-Saeed, denies news announced by a satellite channel on Monday tackling the referral of the former head of Cairo's Court of Appeals, Councillor Abdel Mu'izz Ibrahim, to the criminal court. The channel said Ibrahim was referred following investigations made with him regarding his role in the lifting of a travel ban issued against 18 foreign defendants accused within the case